Hello and welcome. This is Marisol. Today I'll be sharing a walkthrough of my 2016 December daily. For the binder, I used a Simple Stories 6x8 album. I typically don't decorate the front of the album just because of the way that I store them. It's just all the items would probably fall off anyway, so I don't even bother. So what I did was, throughout the album, I used several kits. Mainly I used the Felicity Jane Hello Christmas kit and the Simple Stories Classic Christmas, as well as remnants from past Studio Calico kits, past Simple Stories kits, and Gossamer Blue, maybe even Citrus Twist, and obviously things from my stash. To start off the album, I used an acrylic overlay from the Hello Christmas kit, and these acrylic words they're beautiful. It was tricky sticking them onto the acetate though, with all the little glue dots, and you can see the glue dots, but it's not a big deal to me. And I did have to re-punch holes in the items from the Felicity Jane kit because it was meant for the binder that came with the kit, but I knew that I needed a really big binder for my album, so I went ahead with the Simple Stories one. And it was easy enough to punch in new holes, and it doesn't bother me that there are other holes visible. Part of the intro page is also this beautiful star vellum from Michaels, actually. And I'm quite impressed with the quality of the vellum. It's thicker than I ever imagined it would be. And the gold foil on the Simple Stories numbers, which you will see sprinkled throughout the album, match perfectly. And it has just the right amount of opacity. You can see through it, but not completely. I love it. You'll see it throughout the album. Back here I just have a doily with a Heidi Swapp glitter star. Now, this is another piece of vellum that I printed on using my home printer. And you'll see this picture of our Advent wreath several times throughout the album. What I did was, for every week of Advent, I lit a new candle and I took a picture of it, and every Sunday of Advent I document it with the psalm of the corresponding Sunday, and I included it in my album. Now this vellum is not the best quality. It is from Walmart and much thinner than the one from Michaels. Day one, of course, is our elf on the shelf, Elfie Bob. This is a 5x7 photograph. I used Stays-On ink and an alphabet stamp from Concord and 9th to stamp the welcome back. This right here is a chipboard number, and you'll see those sprinkled throughout the kit as well. Those are from Felicity Jane. On the back, I have this photograph. And it is not a great photograph. I used my phone. It was underexposed. It's very grainy, but the memory occurred and I wanted to document it. It's the story of my youngest two children decorating the Christmas tree for their rooms. They each wanted one for their room, and they were so excited when I showed them that they would each have one this year. The black letter stickers are from Felicity Jane, and they're puffy, and I like that. So I like the texture, that having things outside of having pictures outside of the page protector lends to. Love that texture. For day two, I decided to add an acetate divider, and what I did was I adhered this number to, you can see the adhesive on the back, and at first that really bothered me, and then I thought, you know what, Marisol, just let it go. So I added this little door, which came from Simple Stories, and to cover it up. But I have to attach it. Day two, very simple, just two 3x4 photographs and a 4x6 journaling card. For day 3, I did add a flip up. This washi tape is not very sticky, and so I need to add adhesive to that. Here's the second Sunday of Advent. So you'll see that the second candle is now lit, and that happened on day 4. Day 5 is our Christmas wish lists. I add these every year. I tell the children I like to keep the originals for the scrapbook, and I make copies for Santa. And I made this pocket page using some thick cardstock and some strong adhesive, punched holes, and that was it. Day 6 includes a glassine bag, which I stamped Christmas on. That stamp is beautiful. I love the script on it, and it's from the Felicity Jane kit. And the glassine the bag holds 2 little journaling tags that I wrote about my Christmas cards. For the past couple years, I've been making handmade Christmas cards. And these are pictures of some of the cards that I actually sent. Day 7 is documenting the fact that despite the festivities, we're trying to keep a routine. And it's a picture of my son with his popcorn words. And I attached it using the Studio Calico die attacher. And the best investment I've made, because you can add anything you want to any size album because of these little tabs here. These little attachers. It's great. Day 8, I used these light bulbs from Felicity Jane and wanted to do a string of lights. So, word from the wise, do not use thick thread for it. It is so difficult with the thin cardstock. So if you ever try this idea, make sure you use thin twine or thin thread or something thin, because the thickness just rips through the paper. But I left it alone. It was fine. What I did was I taped it on the back, so it's a little bit bulky because of all the thickness. This is supposed to include the poem that my daughter wrote for Poetry Day, but she hasn't written it for me yet. I want it in her handwriting. I like to include as much of other people's perspective in my December daily album as possible, and that's one way to do it, is to have her write out her own poem. Day 9, very simple as well, just a couple of pictures documenting our new favorite Christmas movies. Day 10 has no specific story. It's more of a creative type of page. Here you see that vellum again, and I used elements from the Felicity Jane kit to create a confetti pocket, paired a picture of my son at the mall with it, and that was it. For day 11, I don't have a photograph. I have journaling, and I can't believe I didn't take a picture, but what can you do? Here I used a stamp set from Mama Elephant to create this 3x4 card. I really like this font, and I use it mostly for card making, but I thought that I would use it in my December daily, and I really like the way that it worked out. And because this was a see-through element, you can see the 2 deer here as well, and this picture here poking out as well, so it was pretty cool. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I can do that. Okay, maybe that'll work a little bit better so you guys can see. There you go. So these are the Basic Gray Attach Me tabs, and they're made of plastic and they have adhesive on them. And just like that Studio Calico die, it allows you to add whatever you'd like to any size album. I am running out, and I do not know if they make them anymore, but I have that Studio Calico die, so it meets my needs. This is week 3 of Advent. You'll see that the rose-colored candle is now lit. Day 12 was a lot of merrymaking. We made lots of Christmas goodies that day. Nothing remarkable in regards to technique, although I did add a flip up here. My daughter made these little hat ornaments out of yarn for church donation, and I took a picture of those because she was so proud that she made them. This is actually one of the Christmas cards that I sent out to family and friends this year, and I attached it again using the basic gray. Attach me stickers, tabs rather, sorry. So I added the number on the back of the card. Day 14 and 15 are 5x7 photographs, and what I did was, before I attached the photographs together, I added a glassine bag, no, not a glassine bag, just a regular bag to the photos, and then inserted these little tags that I journaled on, documenting the story of the two pictures. This is not my house. This is a neighborhood home that every year decorates their home absolutely beautifully with lots and lots of lights, and we go visit every year. Day 15 documents our the aftermath of our first winter storm, and I thought that our home looked beautiful with the lights underneath the snow. I took this picture early in the morning before I went to work. I think it was maybe 7 o'clock in the morning, and it looked really peaceful, and I wanted to document that. Here's the other Mama Elephant sentiment that I was referring to earlier. For this one, I used a silver ink that I received in a kit from Hero Arts, and it is absolutely wonderful. I'm hoping one day that they will sell it in a larger size, because right now it's just in a little cube. I added another flip up. This one is actually from Simple Stories. They had the adhesive already on it, and all I had to do was, oops, sorry for the glare. All I had to do was attach it to the existing page protector. And the back side looks like this. I made this card using a Allie Edwards stamp from a previous December daily kit. Day 17 documents my son's birthday. It's day 17, but he turned 22. I also made this card from a Concord and 9th stamp that's meant for card making, but the sentiment worked fine. It says it's the most wonderful time of year. And here we are with week 4 of Advent. This right here is a nice little bag that is designed with lace, and I'll have to share the story because it's so funny. It's of my son, a quote that my son said, and he said that Santa had a bad memory because every time he saw him, he had to tell him the same thing, what he wanted for Christmas. He saw Santa 3 times this year, and he was so funny the way he said it, that, oh, he has such a bad memory. I've had to tell him 3 times what I want for Christmas. It was very funny. These are rubber this is a rubber embellishment from Felicity Jane, and then the chipboard number. Again, the Studio Calico attacher. This is a 5x7 rubber embellishment, and I just decorated the back of the photo with those papers. Day 19, very simple, nothing remarkable in regards to technique. I did write on the actual photograph with a pen. Day 20 as well is very simple in regards to technique. This is a vellum that I have been hoarding for years from Dear Lizzie, Fifth and Frolic, I want to say. I might be wrong. Now, for day 21, I created an envelope using the We Are Memory Keepers punch board. And I used I love this pattern, by the way. The paper is from Felicity Jane. It's very thick, I usually use store-bought envelopes, but I noticed throughout the years that they don't hold up well to the flipping back and forth in the album. And I decided this year to try making one of my own using cardstock, and it worked out pretty well. The flare here is from Felicity Jane, and it kind of works as a faux closure. Looks like we're getting a lot of glare here, but for day 22, I have a, oh, that's bad, an acetate sheet, acetate divider, that's better, from Felicity Jane. Day 22 and day 23 are both on the same day. Day 24, this picture is actually, I took it, and it's of a pine tree in our yard underneath the snow, and again I liked it, and I thought it'd make a really good background for a number. For also day 24, I used one of those 2x2 page protectors, and I put 6 pictures in front, 6 pictures in back. I like to use the 2x2 for events that have lots and lots of photos, and that allows me to document as many photos as I'd like without it being too bulky or overcrowded in the album. Confetti from the Felicity Jane kit. So it looks like throughout the album I use a lot of stars and circles. There's my son dabbing. He's so funny. For Christmas Day, I used this from Simple Stories, and I thought it was a great way to introduce the day. Now this here, I'm going to pull it out of the album because I need to stay in frame. So this is actually a flip out, and I got the idea from a YouTuber named, oh geez, I thought I had it here. Oh, I do. Her name is Kale Konkar, and I was looking through her album, and she showed this pull out and flip out, and it was a great idea. So thank you for sharing that, Kale. And what it is, it looks like this in the album, and you open it up. You close it back up, you flip it, so you end up with so many pockets. You end up with 6 here and 6 here, and for a total of 12. And all it is that you cut down a 12 by 12 page protector, and this is the bottom half of that page protector. This one is design A, which gives me the 3 by 4 pockets on the top, but if you were to use another style of page protector, you would get a different number depending on which one you actually used. And I didn't have to repunch any holes in here either, which was cool. And that concludes my album. Thank you for spending some time with me today, for letting me share my album with you. If by chance you have any questions, please just leave them in the box below, and I will get to them as soon as possible. I won't promise that I'll put pictures up on my blog. I may put some up on my Instagram handle, and you can see still shots there if you're interested. Thank you so much for joining me, and until then, see you later.